In 4 years between 1347 and 1351, the Black Death killed 1 in every 3 people in Europe. In 2022, scientists finally found exactly where it started, and it was not where anyone expected. As you consider the devastating impact of this pandemic, you may wonder, what triggered the most lethal disease outbreak in human history, which began in the midst of the 14th century, a time when the Mongol Empire, founded by Genghis Khan in 1206, was still expanding its vast territories. The Black Death was not an isolated event, but rather the culmination of a series of historical circumstances, including the rise of trade along the Silk Road, which connected Europe to Asia, and the growth of cities like Constantinople, with a population of over 500,000 people in the 13th century. In the early 14th century, the Mongols, under the rule of Ozbeg Khan, who converted to Islam in 1313, had established a network of trade routes that facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and diseases between Europe and Asia. As you reflect on the interconnectedness of the medieval world, you might ask, how did the plague manage to spread so rapidly across such vast distances, considering the average speed of trade caravans was about 20 miles per day? The main events that led to the outbreak of the Black Death began in 1338, when a massive epidemic struck the city of Issyk-Kul, in present-day Kyrgyzstan, killing an estimated 60% of the population, as revealed by the analysis of DNA from the teeth of 7 14th-century skeletons found in Kyrgyzstan graveyards, published in the journal Nature in 2022. In 1347, a fleet of Genoese ships, led by the Admiral Simone Vignoso, arrived at the port city of Messina, Sicily, carrying rats infected with the plague, which would eventually spread to the entire European continent. The biological warfare at Caffa, a strategic port city on the Crimean Peninsula, played a significant role in the dissemination of the disease, as the Mongol army, led by Yani Beg, catapulted plague-infected corpses over the city walls in 1346, infecting the inhabitants and spreading the disease to the rest of Europe. As you follow the trajectory of the plague, you may wonder, what role did human agency play in the spread of the disease, considering the fact that the plague spread to over 30 European cities within 2 years, including Paris, which lost an estimated 60,000 people, approximately 50% of its population. The aftermath of the Black Death was marked by significant social, economic, and cultural changes, including the decline of the feudal system, the rise of a new class of landowners, and an increase in social mobility, as the shortage of labor led to higher wages and better working conditions for the surviving population. The plague also led to increased persecution of minority groups, such as Jews, who were blamed for the outbreak of the disease, and a rise in anti-Semitic violence, including the massacre of over 2,000 Jews in Strasbourg in 1349. As you consider the long-term consequences of the plague, you might ask, how did the trauma of the Black Death shape the collective psyche of European society, considering the fact that the plague led to a significant increase in the number of flagellant movements, which emphasized the need for penance and self-mortification? The Black Death, which killed an estimated 75 to 200 million people, approximately 30 to 60% of Europe's population, serves as a stark reminder of the devastating impact of pandemics on human societies, and the importance of understanding the complex interplay of historical factors that contribute to the spread of diseases, such as the role of trade, urbanization, and human agency. As you ponder the question, what can we learn from the Black Death to mitigate the impact of future pandemics? Considering the fact that the plague led to significant advances in medicine, including the development of quarantine stations and the use of protective clothing by doctors.